Good morning, everyone. This is bone stock. This has 1200cc injectors, a ETS upper intercooler, and 3.5 intercooler itself. So once we're done with this car, we're gonna tune Jeff's car. These two have the same modifications, except this one has an unknown turbo. All right, so tuning the second car. Also a stock Evo 10. This is Jeff's car. I thought this was gonna be a good comparison, but it's not. I realized there's two key differences that's gonna affect it. One of the biggest differences is the fuel. The previous car actually used a low ethanol content from from the gas station. And this one's using X98 to get that up because we're actually doing a flex fuel. So that's gonna make a huge difference. I thought it was gonna just be able to just switch turbos and do a good comparison. But I don't know what this turbo is. I can't tell. It looks like a stock frame rebuilt. There's no markings on it or nothing. So we did make 410 because he had stuck clutch on this. He changed the clutch, so we're gonna add the X98 and then do the E85 tune, and then basically do the flex fuel tune. Also, interesting thing, I found that he had failing for some reason Myvec on the exhaust cam. It was kept on getting stuck. So instead of changing the Myvec on the exhaust cam, we just had a exhaust cam delete. So that's basically it.
Link engaged.
That was very lean. And I think I know why. All right, so at this low power 418, his injectors are maxed out, and he has 1200 cc's. It's 75% ethanol. Stock pumps usually max out around this horsepower anyway. I'm gonna confirm. I was told that he has an aftermarket, but I highly doubt it. Everything else seems fine, so let's see.
Ready?
All right, so we found the problem. It's the pump. The customer is saying he has a DW65. Personal preference, I have turned a lot of clients away because they had DW products. For the Evo 10s and Evo 8s, 9s, I personally do not like DW products to a point where I'm willing to lose customers for it. Matter of fact, it's not just Evo. In general, I just don't like them. So he's saying that that's what the pump is, and I feel it's the pump. And if he's not sure, I'm sure there's a stock pump in there. So either way, it's the fuel pump. keep you guys posted on what I find. We're gonna take it out right now. All right, welcome back. We are back with Joseph's car, Jeff's car, and I was correct. This had, well, he was correct. This had a DW 650, and basically we put a AEM 320, which we use, or Austin we use, or Walbro we use. Again, nothing wrong. Well, I shouldn't say nothing wrong. My preference is I never use DW products, no matter what car it is, especially on the Evo. So we put it back, and then we went for a test drive. It went from 13.8 on wide open throttle, around 6,000 RPMs. That's where the lean out started. And then it went to 11.5. No changes to the tune whatsoever. So we're gonna put it back on the dyno and finish our tune. So we got the fuel pump changed out. I did test drive it on the street to make sure everything was fine, and it was. There's no changes to the map or anything, but it's running good. It was the fuel pump after all. It just couldn't keep up at a higher RPM, and it would just, you know, we are running 75% ethanol. So, well, let's see how this goes. Very, very rich. Let's see. So at the beginning, we actually tuned this on 93, like 24 PSI, and we made like 24, 25, we made like 410. I didn't, we couldn't do E85 because he had a stock clutch and it was already slipping at that level. I'm gonna see what boost we're the ECU seeing right now, and based on that you guys can guess what turbo this is, because I found out after I did all this stuff. Yeah, this is still at 25 PSI. Alright. The car is very smooth. I like the way this car drives. He needed like a timing service done with 60,000 miles. Stock bottom, nothing in it. Not even cams. Oh, it's making power. His torque looks beautiful. It's and I haven't changed the timing yet. I'm still running 93 octane timing. So what I'm doing now is just playing with the boost curve. We increased the boost 1 PSI, but the curve matters as much as the boost amount. One PSI yielded what, 22 horsepowers. So we're at the efficiency range with the current setup. Obviously, the efficiency will change if we get cams and whatnot. The boost that it's efficient at will change. But with this setup, we're there. I'm gonna add one more PSI, see if we make any power. If not, then I'm gonna dial it back down and just play with this timing a bit and see what we can get. Again, I don't think the customer really is looking for that much power. To make this on 75 is pretty good.
Link engaged.
So I gotta watch it. I'm getting close to my comfort zone. I don't want to hear what you guys are, opinions like, oh yeah, you could go to the 450, it'll be fine. Yes, this is my comfort zone. And I don't mean to be insulting, but I have been told that I'm a grandma. And you know what? I am 40 years old. I have children. I've had many, many cars. I've tuned clients that want to go balls out on, they say, oh, blow it, I don't care. To guys like, I don't want power at all. And I found a happy medium between those. And that's what I stick to. Customer specifically asks, yeah, that's something different. So this should tell you a lot about what kind of turbo this is. You see, like, I increased the boost, one more PSI. I made similar horsepower, but mid-range increased like crazy. And then we increased 20 more torque. So that should tell you around what size the turbo is. And looking at where the peak torque kicks in, and I hit it at like 4,000 RPMs. I think I was like a 50% throttle at like 32, and by 4,000 I was all in. So I'll tell you right now, this thing can do at least 510, 525. I don't want to. This car is nice. I gotta call the client now and see what he wants out of it. And I'll get back to you guys, okay? All right, so I think we're a good power. This, like I said, this turbo is capable of over 500. I am not comfortable given the customer's personality and what the car is going to be used for and whatnot. And absolutely 20 horsepower or 30 horsepower is not going to make any difference. It's just, bragging right, but it really does not make any difference. I'm just smoothing out some of the stuff that I did, and I'm going to make a final run. Not really trying to make power.
Link engaged.
Just smoothing stuff out. And that's what I basically did. I went from partial to full throttle with a short period of time, and I wanted to see how the fuel and boost and everything reacts. And that's what I'm basically fixing right now. As more you'll see me tune, there's little things that I do that I don't show on all videos will come up. Some people say it's annoying. These guys don't like it because it's time on the dyno. Trying to make power on this, so to make it good for street use. All right, I think we're done. On to the next car. This has a lot more in it, but on this car, again, like I mentioned, it's better if we don't. It's not gonna suit the customer's, I think, desire and the way the car's been taken care of. People say, oh yeah, no, safely. Nah, safely it is, the more horsepower you make, safe, yes, on the dyno with the current variables that you put in. Fuel, air temp, this environment, the air quality, everything matters. If you keep it at that level, you are dramatically increasing the way your variables are changing once it's on the street. Once you lower the horsepower, you're opening it up for more variable changes that the car can handle. And of course, you have to adjust the tuning for it. You have to give it a range of how the car operates at different situations. And that takes a lot of street driving, dyno for power, then post street driving. And if you are editing stuff on the street after the dyno, you put it back on the dyno, it's not going to be the same. A lot of times it's less, a lot of times it might be even more because of the air, quality outside the dyno, which is colder or whatnot, maybe even denser. It could be less because you're taking away timing, because it didn't knock on the dyno but is knocking on the street in different gears. So the overall health and drivability of the car is what I'm focused on. And I say this car is making 475, 470 in the vicinity. Right? Because even on the dyno, if I leave it here, tomorrow is another day, it's not going to be the same number. That's basically it. I'm going to take it for the street drive right now and see what's going on. So I took my process is that I actually tuned the car in length on the street before we put it on the dyno. And I just basically make the power boost curve and all that stuff, and then I go verify on the street again. Over a long period of time, I used to do it differently before, but over a long period of time, I realized this is the process that works for me. There's no wrong way. As long as you get the job done and your tune is good, there isn't a bad way. Some people will say, oh, you got to do this. No, whatever works for you. As long as you hit those check marks that you have in mentally or written down somewhere, and I used to write them down before. I literally used to write down, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that. And I'm not finished until all these check out, and I had a variable, result next to it that if I do this, I need to achieve this in order for me to say I'm successful and I finished it. As an exhaust leak, this thing is hauling ass. That was like 6,000 RPMs. for example, hey, I'm not successful. Say I'm doing math scaling and map scaling. Oh, I'll be successful if my math is reading 1 or 2% from the map calculations, and the fuel trims are within 3% of each other. So things like that. It kind of helps, and those of you who are learning how to tune, it kind of helps because there's so much to do, until it becomes a second nature. You need to write stuff down, and that's just one platform. I tune a lot of stuff because I've been tuning for a while. I tune a lot of platforms. Like if I start tuning say a Corvette, it's going to be a different process. There's things you got to do, and the HV tuners a very robust program. But yeah, this car, all it really needed was the fuel pump, and I'm glad that we got that sorted out. And right now there's an exhaust leak. I hear it. It doesn't, according to the AFRs, it's coming from post mid-pipe. So I'm not worried about that, just annoying. The car drives smooth. I'm happy with them too. The customer will be happy too. And I want to thank you guys again for watching my show. Comments and whatnot. Level of support, I didn't anticipate that this will affect, my channel would affect this many people. I'm glad I'm able to help someone, but just guys, keep in mind that, guys or girls, that I'm not going to teach you how to tune. If you're in whatever you pick up, as you can see, my channels is made for someone who's learning to tune but is interested in cars, and in general just knows the basics. I'm not gonna like hold your hand and show you all the basics too. Like I'll answer questions here and there, but you can't expect me to do that. And yeah, I could make money from teaching people how to tune, but that is not my goal, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. Also, please do not ask me if your tuner did everything correct out of this and that. I'm not here to do that. One, professional courtesy. Two, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So either way, thank you guys for subscribing. Keep watching, and until next time. And oh yeah, my new project car coming up.